There we go. All right. All right, fam. So let's get this thing rolling. Let's get this thing rolling. I know y'all enjoying y'all Shabbat. We're gonna get this in, and y'all can keep the day moving. Hallelujah. All right. So you see the Hebrew here that we have at the top. You know how we do, or at least I do. I'm gonna ask who can sound that out.
I can.
Let's go for it. What do you have?
It's the word lakem.
Oh, yes, it is. Look him. And what do you have? What are the letters that you have? Well,
It's the
uh-huh.
oh, I'll let somebody else. Well, I mean, I can. I mean,
Yeah,
but
please
I'll
go
let
ahead.
somebody. That's the well, what? Gosh, it's the L. But I mean,
Right,
um, then it's the what is that? The chet. Um,
right.
and then the mem. Sofet.
Let me look at my handy dandy sheet here. Cause yeah, I can.
Lamech. It's Lamech, and then it's I think it's Czech. I think that's how you heck or something like that. Czech, how you pronounce it, but it's more guttural from the back of the
Yeah,
throat. And then it's and I'm not saying it like that right now. And then
got you.
it's the M, the mem actually.
Got you. All right. Looks good. All right. So you're absolutely correct. So Laham, of the evil Ruach. And obviously, like, well, okay, well, tell us what that is. Uh,
It's. Do you want me to
what?
say that too?
Oh, you know that part too.
Yes, of course. Nobody believes it, but
Go ahead.
it's
Go
bread.
ahead.
It's actually bread of the evil ruach.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see which one I was going with.
Oh, you
So,
weren't?
but that was hey, it may be. You know how like in language a lot of times you have the same word that means like the same word could have two different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Homophones. I don't want to go there. It sounds jokingly, but yeah, that's what that happens. You got words
Mm-hmm.
that sounded like that with the same meaning, or some that sounded like that don't have the same meaning. This
Right.
happens.
Okay.
So okay, cool. So what I ended up
Oh, yours
having,
is Lacam because yours is
yep.
it's not the E. So it is a different word.
hmm
Without the vowel,
The Nakud system, yeah. Without this, you
yeah,
would
then
not have
I would
sounded
have
out.
just, yeah, I would have just said Lacam,
Yep.
period. But it's Lacam. So it's a
Right.
totally different word.
Yep. You got it. So, Lacan, like you said, you got it. And then, you see the definition here. That's going to be your H3898. Um, definition says to feed on, figuratively to consume, by implication, to battle, as in destruction, devour, eat, uh, fighting, overcome, prevail, and make war or war. And that's the connotation I was pulling in this time was war. So if you go back, of course, that's what I was saying right there for the title, War of the
I
Evil
think it's
Ruach.
actually spelled wrong. I'm different too. So I pronounced it right, but it the Lachem. I think the Lachem is actually spelled differently than that. It's just it was the same word, so I assumed.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I even did this, and I still had one of the because I was gonna do the paleo, and I still had one of the letters off. So I'll just press on for the paleo part. But yeah, to get into that though, now looking back at it, I probably would say because Lama. So what we're saying about paleo is that there's a system. Let me pull this over. There's a system that has the actual letters, right? The alignment, like we're talking about the chat, as she as Sharma just brought out, and with the mem so feet, right? But it's gonna be a mem, and then so you had those meanings as well. And in ancient Hebraic understanding and knowledge, they would a lot of times utilize this system to to kind of give their own definitions of the words. So I think I ended up saying, since I was thinking in the context of war, I think I ended up saying something to control, but I ended up thinking it was a hey, I messed up. But if I was to rethink it, of course, to control and to probably chamber, which is a bit like, well, why chamber? But I'm saying that because of the last part, which is, man, where I have the man at? Yeah, chaos. Because I would say too, the only reason why I would say that is because I think in war you have the aspect of some level of, very organized. It's a very organized approach when you deal with war. But when you're going into war, you're going into to cause chaos to your target, right? That's the mindset. You're gonna cause that this whatever it is, pick any other word, to cause that mix and whatever. Like if a tornado comes through, it's a very organized system of tornado and how it develops the whole nine. Everything has to be just right. But what is destruction does? Oh my goodness. So that was the idea that I think I had there. So I still kind of keep the same definition. That's kind of what I was saying. I thought it was the hay, but I still would use kind of the same aspect of the definition. Just to kind of like to control chaos.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, Appreciate that. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's get in. Let's roll. Let's go. Bashem Yoshua Mashiach. All right. So we're going to land back off of the lesson that kicked off matzah, feast of unleavened bread, to further reveal how we strive to remain in the spirit, right? How we strive to do it. And the goal is to look at our responses amid our enemy's attacks. Okay? That's gonna be what we're looking at today. So let's go ahead and get into some of this good reading. Sharman, if you don't mind, can you get this first verse for me, please?
Sure.
It's gonna be 2 Corinthians, probably Corinthians, but you know
Okay,
what I meant.
2 Corinthians 10:4. Let me just open it up real quick. Second
All right.
4. I'm
It's an
really
oldie
sorry.
but a goodie.
Okay. 2 Corinthians. I'm sorry, family. I got it now. 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapons are." You should have just said 4, and I would have known. I know by heart. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds."
Let's
Oh,
see.
casting down imaginations and every
Mm,
high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Elohim, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
mm. Already enough in there. We can just turn this off and go home. Well, we are home, tripping. Just turn it off and get into bed.
Right.
So y'all see the first part of that. Let me actually pull it up. I was just listening because it always sounds good. But I'm gonna say 10. Okay. So we have the first part. First thing to understand is that your enemy has tools. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Weapons. He has tools. Yes, I'm saying he has tools. That's the first thing you have to, I guess, realize in this thing, right? We already know about the aspect of fiery darts, but these are things that are going to be used against you. All right. Now the question I would have is, do we have a tool belt? Do we have a tool belt? I would think so, right? I would hope so. Okay. What are some of those
We
tools?
do.
Okay. What are some of those tools?
For starters, it's the word itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of the words, I mean, some of the tools that we can are our voices. I don't know if that is something or if you're just talking about things that are like scriptural.
Yeah, I'm just getting into yeah, exactly, scriptural. So I'm saying basically the questions you ask yourself. Are you getting into the word? You just already answered that one. Are you
Hmm.
prayed up? Are you prayed up on a daily basis?
Yeah, so our
Because if you're
voices.
not, there you go. Uh, and I'm gonna even say this other part because I think it's very important. Are you doing service? A lot of people don't really fully understand how important service is in protecting you. Hopefully, we'll get even deeper into that. But I'll tell you one thing, it's definitely a protection mechanism. Let me just say it like that and throw that out there. All right. And then you have this other aspect, right, of what is it? Through the pulling down of strongholds, casting down every imagination on every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yah, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. My question is, are you really truly bringing everything into captivity? Are you? That's on you to answer. It's not on me to figure this out today. No, this is Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's for you to ponder on, introspect. So that should mean filtering your experiences through the lens of script in a truly thoughtful way. In a truly thoughtful way. Because really, you know your own heart. I don't. You know, I don't know how thoughtful you are in making sure that you check yourself whenever you're dealing with these strongholds, if you will. That's on you. Um, yeah, that's all I'll say on that. I could probably go a little bit further, but that's what I'll say on that. We'll get into the aspect of the obedience. The obedience is fulfilled. All right, let's get this other verse. Oh, went a little ahead. Y'all know how that go. Can somebody get 2 Timothy 2, 3 through 6, please? This is
I'll
another
get
one
it.
that y'all know. Oh, thank you, sir. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
2 Timothy, I'm reading out the King James Version. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3 to 6.
Right.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua.
Say it again. A good what?
Good soldier
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
of Yahushua. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strives lawfully. Lawfully, yes. The husbandman that laboreth must be first um partaker of the fruits.
Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that. Oh, I hope now it's seeping right on in. That's the hope. Yeah, no man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. No man does, or woman. Um, the world is going to throw a lot of things at us. It is. There's just no way around that. It's going to have an effect on your mental state. But what does verse 4 say? No man warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. Because you're going to war. That's just, there is no such thing as not warring um, with the affairs, with whatever is going to come your way, right? This enemy's goal is to try, we talked about this maybe a few lessons ago, is to steal your shalom. The absolute goal. Uh, You know, we'll get into it a little deeper. And then what is it? We have verse 5, and if any man strives for masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. Hey, you strive lawfully. I love how we got lawfully in there. All in the new, right? Even in 2 Timothy. Because you're gonna uh, even though you may not necessarily be crowned, you still strive. You still strive for that, you know, that perfection, if you will. But please don't think of perfection in a Western mindset. You know, don't go that rowdy mind. Please think of it as being a completeness. Once again, a completeness. We talked about this. This was a lesson long time ago. We'll probably bring that one back up too. About I think I titled it "Be Thou Perfect," right? That's what Christ told us to do, right? But when we looked into it in the whole nine, it was just the aspect of completeness. And when you have a sense of completeness, you have a sense of shalom. So once again, strive. Strive like you're striving for masteries. And in that last verse, was say, "Husband, the husband that laboreth must be the partaker of the fruits." But anyway, let me not get that. What was the old saying? There's no such thing as a free lunch. That's kind of what I wanted to throw out there. Because in my opinion, I mean, when we say strive and that there's going to be a cost for anything, there's going to be a cost. Like there's no such thing as not having a cost for something. I'm still kind of on verse 4. There's no such thing, or verse 3, really. Endure hardness, right? That's what it says, verse 3. Endure the hardness as a good soldier of Yahusha. Like, so anyway, there's a cost for everything. You know, you can't. We were just talking. Roberto and I was just talking beforehand. You want to get this part? You want to get that tune up done? Oh yeah, it's gonna be a little cost. That's in there. You know, you want to get in shape. That's gonna be a little cost. You want that degree? Oh, that's gonna be a cost. Anything in this, almost anything in this life. And when I say I mean the vast majority of things, almost to the point where I can still almost say I can say almost everything. There's a cost. I'll never forget that term. There's no free lunch. No such thing as a free lunch. And yeah, so the last verse dealing with the husbandman that laboreth. Yeah, I remember back in the day when the father used to come to the table and he'd be the first one to be you know take on the victuals. Yeah. Anyway, that was just interesting that you can see it here. But I just I never even noticed it until now, to be honest with you. So that's what the Most High gave me. But yeah, the aspect is still in what we're talking about is in 3 and 4. So strive. All right, this is gonna be a short one. And hey, and also if you want to jump in, anybody want to jump in and say something, go for it. Otherwise, I'll keep it moving. All right. This is another oldie but a goodie. Can somebody get this one for me, please? This is gonna be Kiefer Rishon or 1 Peter 5. 8, starting at verse 8. And if anyone from Bahia Narto, otherwise,
If they don't do it, I can do it.
I'll play. Oh, by all means, go for it.
Okay, let me just pull it up.
It's another oldie but a goodie. We just bringing up, the verses that but you gotta, if we're gonna deal with this enemy,
Okay.
go for it.
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about, seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. But the Elohim of all grace, who has called us unto his eternal glory by Mashiach Yeshua, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Man. To him be the power, or the glory and dominion forever. But rolling back up to the top, because ain't nothing wrong with repeating and taking it nice and slow. Be sober vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion. Now, what's interesting about that, right? A lot of people probably look at it and be like, "Oh, well, we talking about like you talk about lion of Judah, and then also talk about the enemy being a roaring lion." And the thing is that you guys, we're not talking about like Judah in this instance, right? we're just talking about like the what is it called? The makeup, right? The makeup, or maybe some of the tactics, if you will, that a lion has. And this is something I didn't know. I'm gonna keep it once again. I'm keeping it 1,000 with y'all. I learn as I go in this. This was an interesting aspect of a lion about their techniques. Lion species hunt during the storms. Lions do most of their, this is facts, astonishing facts about lions. Lions do most of their hunting at night as their eyes have adapted to the dark, and this gives them a huge advantage over their prey. They hunt more during the storms as the noise and wind make it harder for prey to see and hear them. I mean, maybe I guess y'all knew all about the whereabouts of lions. Let me know if y'all did. If y'all did, I'm okay. That was just new to me. That's not
I
even
never heard it.
okay. That's never even propagated to us. You know, we all think of safaris and this, that, and the third. I didn't know that was like they do most of their hunting. So what we just see during the daytime, I guess, is just you know, a little small, minute of what it is they do really at night. Um, but yeah, they so y'all, I think hopefully y'all get that. Y'all get where I'm going with that with the verse, right? What's the verse say? Be sober and vigilant because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about. So he's waiting until you have storms in your life. Oh yeah, we're going. Yeah. He's waiting until you have storms in your life to get at you. He's waiting until the noise gets so great that that's the time to get in. Right then and there. Mm. Oh, I want y'all to think about that. Yes, I do. All right. What was the rest of that verse now say? You resist steadfast in the faith. So, like we talked about earlier, stay in the faith. Stay in the spirit, really. Stay in the faith. Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. This is happening to all of us. You ain't no different. No. We all got our things that we battling. Okay. What's it say? But the Yah of all grace, who have called us unto his eternal glory by Christ, by Mashiach Yeshua. After that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect. In other words, complete, establish, strength. You got to tap into the Most High. I'm seeing it, and I'm once again, y'all tell y'all all the time, I'm just a person. I'm just a vessel, nobody special. I'm just somebody who, you know, said I'll serve. But I can see here where, you know, people can fall short. You know what I'm saying? Best believe that. All right, let me get another reader, please. Unless somebody got a comment.
I have a comment, real quick. I'm glad that you had this scripture, because actually, you know, I'm paying attention really diligently, but when you said something, when you went back over verse 10, but the Elohim of all grace, who has called us unto his eternal glory, Hamashiach Yeshua, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. You know, but it says strengthen, settle you. That really speaks to me, because, and I'm glad that you say that we're all going through something, because at this time Yah is perfecting his son's bride. So after what happened, you know, 2.5 weeks to me, where the Most High really just put me on my face, and I've been going through anxiety ever since. So I'm looking at that as, after that ye have suffered a while, it's for my benefit. It's to perfect me and to establish me and to strengthen me and to settle me. That's how I'm looking at it. So we're all going through something,
That's
but
right.
we're going through something that's going to benefit us. Although we feel like we probably need, for me, I feel like, you know, I heard another lady say, you probably, after an encounter with the Most High, you probably feel like you need therapy, and you probably feel like you need to be, or like you're rocking back and forth. And that's how I was for 3 days. And I'm still kind of like that even up until now. But I see the change that Yah has done in me. He has
There you go.
truly, honestly done something to me. And I can't ever go back to the person that I was before. I'm not really, you know, I had a brother come on, Facebook this morning to where he just really went off on me because he had made a comment about using the names. And, I said, I agree with you, but let's give grace. Whereas I used to be hardcore like him. That's right. We need to use the names of the Most High. How are people going to? That's how I was before. I still 100% agree with him. But I also said, but we don't know where people are right now.
There you go.
They're not where you and I are perhaps right
Right.
now. And I come to people at a different way, but he went off on me. So even after he went off on me, I explained to him that I personally only use Yeshua and Abba Yahuwah's name. That's it. In the Ruach HaKodesh, I try to leave all titles and things alone personally. And then I went and reiterated to him what I told you was this. And I said, you can go down my challenge, my timeline, and you'll see that for almost 9 years, this is how it's been for me. But I'm like, it's amazing how you came so hard at me. And I said, what you're doing is calling me unrighteous, unrighteously, is what you're doing. I said, but the Most High knows me. I told him, I said, but the Most High knows me, and those people around me, they know me and how I
Yeah.
am. Well,
Quick
he came
question.
back and apologized, and
Yeah.
said that it wasn't for me, and he was sorry, so I accept that. But there's a change after, when Yah is doing whatever he's doing in us right now. It is for our benefit, and we will change, period. If we don't, there's something wrong, and
Con.
I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying there's something wrong. Maybe we're not, I can only put it on us, because I know
Right.
no matter what, the Most High is going to get his glory. And we will, you know what, I take all that back because it doesn't sound right. If the Most High is doing a change in us, there's no way that the change ain't gonna come. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
when
yeah,
he does something,
absolutely.
he perfects it.
Quick question,
And I'm
Charmin.
sorry.
When you say, Jesus, if you're talking to people in the whole nine, and is your mind thinking of a pig god, a pig or
No, I
whatever it
don't.
is?
No,
Oh,
my
okay.
mind has not gone there
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
My
I
mind
don't
has never
think.
gone there.
I think if you talk to anybody or any Christian anywhere, if you would call me when I was in my Christian days and all of that, I would look at you and I'd say that's not even close to what I'm
Mhm.
even thinking, and my eyes probably would go up, and then I'd walk right on off. And I ain't trying to
Mhm.
hear nothing. See, it's in my humble opinion, when people get to this argument, because yes, I've been all around with that. They call it the sacred name thing. Like, I think all of us have been there. It
Mhm.
gets to a point where you're not even caring about what's really central, which is the law, statutes, commandments. I'm telling you, there are so many different things that's trying to get us off of really talking about the law, statutes, commandments. It's mind blowing. It's
Mhm.
mind blowing, because that if it's anything that the enemy does wants to make sure that you don't follow, is them law, statutes, commandments.
Right.
Or even talking about them or getting to it. Now let's get stuck off in one of these weird conversations for the next however many days, right? That's it. It's the
I hear you, but I still, for me, because I don't ever want anybody to, I never want anybody to feel bad around me, because people still use, Yeshua's, JC. I don't say it, but because, and that I'm trying to move away from a lot of things, but,
I understand.
yeah,
I get
so
it, but do you
I'm
understand what I mean? What I'm saying by that?
absolutely,
Like
but
it's not the for me it's not the be all end all when it comes to my faith. I'm not
right,
like for me if that's everything my faith hangs on, and
right.
I
Well,
do
it's
all of this
not.
stuff. I'm going to Shabbat. I'm doing all of this stuff, and then but it comes down to what to that. I'm thinking to myself, wow, when now I understand the idea of doing things in ignorance and that. So this is why I rock with you on the aspect of my personal life. Of course, I'm using Yeshua and all, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Right.
but when communicating to people, I'm going to say what I have to say, and then of course, at some point in time, they'll probably ask, well, how come
You'll
you pray like this?
tell
How come you?
him.
Yeah.
Right.
It gets to
Right,
that
because there's
point.
importance on the name of the Most High. We have to bring his name back to the people. But right
Right.
now, I agree, they're not going to receive it, because they don't know. You have
No.
to, introduce him. to them in the first place who he really truly is, and it is getting back to his law, statutes. But then everybody comes to the point where we'll begin to say his name. And like I told the guy earlier, I also told him this scripture says, and you all know it, that eventually that the Most High is going to remove the name of Baal or out of their mouths, and everybody will call him by his name, whatever his name is going to be
There
that
you
he
go.
chooses.
Because there's a name that we
And
don't even know.
yeah, that he chooses. So there's a name that we're gonna all call him, and it's gonna be a new name, or what it'll be new to us, maybe, you
I'm
know,
telling you,
or
this thing is to get people to not talk about the law, statutes, commandment. I'm telling you, the enemy is very crafty. We got to find out, and this is the thing. The enemy is finding these cracks to get people off of that. I'm telling you, that can go on for people. We just not talked about how like some brews don't even want like certain books to really even be relevant, or they'll talk about how Paul is, and Paul just refers to the law, I don't know how many times, but they don't want to highlight that at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just very interesting how if we can stray away from that, the enemy wins. I'm seeing that more and more and more, and it's just as I get older, you know. But yes, obviously, yes, that's the name, or at least the name that I believe we should be using. But it's not nothing I'm gonna beat somebody over the head about. I'm telling you, that ain't even close to my spirit no more. Not even close. Cause I done seen what it does, and it really detracts people. I definitely appreciate that. I think that was great conversation. The people needed to hear that. Charmin. All right. So we got another scripture coming up. Anybody, please. Can you grab that Sirach 2:1-5? I'm actually gonna speak on something you just now said, Sean. I need
I
somebody to
can
read
get
that.
it.
Okay, thank you. Pull it up. Which, yeah, I got it. Oh, before we go there, hold that. Sorry, I'm getting. We had that good conversation. See how that? Did I get everything I'm supposed to get on that? Because I have certain things I'm supposed to be showing y'all here and there. Okay, no, it'll be after this scripture. Thank you. Please go ahead, Naya.
Okay. Sirach 2:5-1. My son, if you come to serve Yahuwah, prepare your soul for temptation. Set your heart aright and constantly endure, and make not hassle in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that you may be increased at your last end. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully, and be patient when you are changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
What you say, Sean? At the end, huh? At the end. At the end. At the end. At the end. You were just speaking script. Increased at the last end. Gold. That's all. That's all any of us are. Now, it depends on which state we in at our various states in our lives. That's on you, right? And myself, right? That's how it is. But you're gonna be tried. There's no, especially if you're acceptable. Okay, you're gonna be tried. You're gonna be tried. Furnace of adversity is here. But like we just now read, your brethren is going through it. So then what does that mean? That means am I using some tools on my end, right? That we just now talked about 2 Corinthians 10. Some of those tools in our tool belt. Or we just leaving the tools in there. Still walking about this life. Maybe didn't even put on the belt. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. All right. So what I'm about to do is show y'all a clip. Because we also kind of talked about like almost like psychoanalyzing. We just now talked about how the enemy moves. And I hate to get too external because once again, this Feast of Unleavened Bread, this is about introspection, which I'm hoping everybody, including myself, is going through. All right. But let's look at a little external stuff. This is some sort of interview. Y'all probably have seen this back in the day. Somebody who hasn't seen this. This is dealing with this informant. See if I can get that to go away. Yeah. This ex-FBI informant talks about how he infiltrated the black culture. This is way back in the day. I want to say he dealt with a lot of different organizations. Like, it's crazy how he infiltrated a lot of, like, even some positive black organizations. It's crazy. I mean, there's even one, probably not gonna bring it up today. Yeah, I think it's like here. I'll just probably drop the video in there in the chat, where he even talks about infiltrating like this, like a book program or something. Ended up getting the building burned down. Anyway, so let me go to what my marks here. I mean, just straight up craziness.
From the audience, I've seen more felons in law enforcement than I have in prison.
Many would say, well, look, you yourself just got through saying that the DLA was involved in criminal activity. What's wrong with wanting to put them in prison? How would you answer them?
I would answer him this way. First off, we have to understand why they did what they did. But I'm not even gonna go off into that psychological hoo-ha. What I'm gonna say is, when you become just as bad as the people that you go after, then there's nothing gained and a whole lot lost.
You also were active in the infiltration of many cultural groups. Before we go into that step by step, how much research and study did the FBI engage in of black culture in the late 60s?
A great amount.
Give me an idea.
From the thing is, I can, they have a file on every type of magazine that blacks read. They have a file on the music. Music, dance, theater, actors, comedians, you name it, man.
And they would actually study these different...
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's the first clip. I got to fast forward, for time's sake. Y'all know how I go. We get to the second part of this, I wanted to highlight. But definitely let's have a conversation after this. All right. Number 14. There's a question about here.
Sound. We had our own sound room there.
Was part of your other activities and responsibilities to study the profiles of celebrities who were supportive of organizations?
Definitely, and especially, like I said, psychological backgrounds, weaknesses and strengths. Did he have a weakness for blondes? Did he have a weakness for money? Did he snort cocaine? Did he smoke marijuana? They even get into, and that's one thing the Bureau loves, is their sexual background. They have files and files on different blacks, not only celebrities, but a lot of others, sexual activity.
What would they do with this information?
Oh, that's used as a weakness.
So they would feed to these weaknesses?
Yes.
Did you see that happen?
Oh, yes.
And that's the other clip. That's what I have so far. So hopefully y'all have seen it. This enemy is waiting for you. So it's a couple things, right? There's something that's called social steering. But before I even get there, the aspect of this was a long time ago, guys. Supposedly, I think I couldn't find the exact clip or the other information. I need to take a little bit more time. But like they have so much information on everybody. It's mind blowing. Like, I'm talking about like I think 1 in 5 people or something like that. Like the FBI. I mean, this is what even back then you had a file. So there's so much information that's being stored that they're able to do something what is called social steering. Let's see, and anybody want to jump in, just jump in. If y'all want to talk, but because otherwise, I will keep it rolling. Telling you, but so social steering, I never heard of it. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. So was looking into it, and it was just a quick Google search. Let me see. Let me show y'all. Like I went to Google search, right? Social steering. Went to one of the ones I saw from JSTOR, and I was able to at least get this abstract here. It says the authors are tackling the issue of strategic steering of modern societies. Strategic processes are social processes, eventuating in a special field between individual and collective actors and the emergent social structures. The analysis must therefore take both micro and macro level into account. Social dimensions of these processes can be explained by the social becoming, quote unquote, social becoming approach to the analysis of social reality. Within this approach, strategy is located on the level of agency. Anyway, all right. Agency between individuality and totality. All right. So individuality and totality. This is the reason for path dependent, quote unquote, path dependent nature of strategic processes and of development, implying choice, right? Implying choice within constraints approach. Strategic actors have freedom of strategic choice, right? It's a strategic, anyway. Yeah, y'all hopefully get what I'm saying when I say that. But this choice is constrained by the social structures and culture. So it's little. The only way I can put it is like y'all probably have had y'all cell phone, and y'all know this. You're not even. It's almost like you're thinking of something, and then the ad pops up, right? Well, that's just kind of like a macro or microcosm of what it is they do on a consistent basis, right? With all of the information that they're able to get from you. And supposedly, like, that all is really not only just flowed through not just through social media the whole nine, but I mean it could end up, in some sort of FBI database. And of course, if everybody on here has already been labeled as BIE, right? What is it? Is it BIE? Help me out. It's your identity extremist or something like that. Black identity extremist. So it's possible. Just being honest, like it's possible. I'm so glad that we don't put our faces, for the most part, on camera. You know what I mean? That still don't mean that like ain't no file, there's not a file on us or whatever. But it is what it is, right? And of course, they could be analyzing our music, everybody's music. I don't even know if me even talking about this is already. But I mean, I'm just only doing regular Google searches, so if you're coming after me, I mean, shoot, take it down. But yeah, that information's out there.
Can I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I used to I used to be like, I guess I would say paranoid, like a healthy paranoid. I wouldn't use like Alexa or have any of those devices, but the more I came to know about different information from groups like ours, and just being in different chat rooms or amongst different people, there's no way around it. Even people who think they're off the grid, they're not off the grid. There's no such thing. I will tell you
Right.
that they say like it takes about 20 years of conditioning to change a generation. All the things that we see now, they have conditioned us for 20 years prior to probably your first thought of it. Not even thought, but its first formulation of normalcy within society. So what am I basically saying? Before we accepted being couples or just cohabitating couples instead of married couples. That was put out about 20 years prior to
Yep.
whatever form they decided. I guess television is the easiest way to think of it. So let's do TV. So they would have shows like
Media.
Mary Tyler Moore, or something like
Yep.
Golden Girls, where it's normalized to be single or divorced, or living a life of, I'm gonna date however many people. These things are put out into our society through media, through education system, through work and policies and law years before, little by little. So we have literally been studied even before we got here. When I say we, I mean collectively human beings. Like, they've been studying human beings, and we can see evidence of that in scripture, that they studied who we were and the things that we would do, and they would make laws just so that we could go against Yah's laws. Like, that's a thing. Like, they've been doing that. Like, oh, it's a law, you have to eat pork. Like, what was the
pork
benefit of
infusion.
eating pork?
Tell
There
me.
was no benefit to it, right? But they knew that that was a law that the Most High had given us, and that we would be obedient. And they knew that they saw you eating or not eating pork, or some food that they thought you should eat, that was a way to weed you out. It's no different, and to condition you, and to condition the generations going down. So whatever we see now, that has been implemented into our society at least two decades prior to. We just have not recognized it. We just didn't know that until many of us now, with our access. Access is so grand with TikTok and Google and all those other platforms. Now we have caught on. We see these videos that you're showing us. Who would have seen that video? That video looks like it was taped in the 90s. Like, no one would have known to look at that video, right? But because the world is so much smaller. I remember them saying that when I was in high school. Oh, the world's going to be so much smaller. And you're thinking, yeah, right. How is that going to happen? That doesn't make any sense. And then here comes, the World Wide Web, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, it's that double-edged sword, right? We've gained access to things that they've tried to keep away from us, but we've gained it, and already the damage has been done, right?
That's it. And I'm glad you actually brought that up, because now that brings up the next clip. As far as who would have thought that we would have even cared to look into this information. And that's because like I said, there's a bunch of, so it's a couple things I wanted to actually say based off what you're saying, which was great. It's dealing with the social steering aspect of it is that they've been studying to see are people going to make, and the vast majority of us have, like even us, like, to be honest with you, it's just that there was something in us, obviously, the Most High, the whole nine, they kind of illuminate us and say like, nah, this doesn't seem right. But that's what I want to get into with this clip. Hopefully it'll play. I didn't test it beforehand. Hold on.
Or sit when they hear this.
Oh, let me do this. See if it'll come up. Okay.
Actors. They've been briefed to stand or sit when they hear this. Everyone else that's brought in is a genuine shortlisted applicant. They've been given no instructions other than to fill out their forms. My team and I were secretly watching from another room. The more socially compliant a person is, the more they're likely to look to others for signs of how to behave.
This is going to be your spot.
And the more people, the greater the pressure to join in. In this case, whether to stand or sit. Those people that didn't follow the crowd were removed. I think we have to lose Amy, sadly.
Amy, come with me.
Once we had a full house, we got rid of the actors, leaving us with a room full of compliant people standing up and sitting down, even though nobody told them to do this.
Well. Hope y'all. I'm gonna just keep on going with the clips because I know everybody's mind is probably just kind of doing its own thing. So let me just. So that's that's a thing in and of itself, right?
You
Kinda,
so
yeah, go
you
ahead.
know that's based on a very those that have studied psychology, because I know many people study psychology that veer off in different, so many of you might have already studied this. That's a very based on a very famous study by Pavlo. And if you might be like, Pavlo, or you might say, yeah, I know that. Pavlo's dog, where they would do the dinging, and they would give them food, and they would salivate, and
Yep.
before you know it, you would condition. So just so you know, that was probably done in the 50s. So, and who knows, that's just when we were told. I'm sure there's more to it, but
Absolutely.
yeah, yes, yeah. And any of those of us who are veterans, we're conditioned too. And by the way, most people have an FBI file. You do not have to be considered an extremist. Regular people have
Right.
FBI files.
Right. That was
It
what I
just
wanted to
means,
say about that too.
yeah.
I said
So
one. I said it earlier. 1 in 5.
Yep. So in maybe even now in this society with the progression of technology, it may be even less, like more, like, more like 3 or 4 and 5. Just so you can request your file, by the way, and they will give it to you. And you can see how thick or not thick it is, just so you know. And there's a FBI agency in every major city, so you know, if anybody wants that information.
Good deal. Let's finish this off by this. Even though, once again, you know how a lot of times we'll say that like they put it in the movies, right? Um, Probably most of y'all have probably seen this. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I do remember, but I haven't seen it. But let me just kind of go through this clip.
Are you a registered New York voter?
Do I sound like I am?
David.
I gotta go. Sorry.
How was that? I don't know.
That's Grace.
You challenged me in those shoes? What is this? We are the people who make sure things happen according to plan. We monitor the entire world.
There you go. There you go. What did the word say? This man, I should have went over it. I actually should have been saying it. A series of events that. Y'all hear me? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So there you go on that. I mean, just kind of go along with the same thought process. This is they put this out a long time ago, right? The sad part is we thinking about do y'all only think it's only on adults? I would think that hopefully, I know the thought process that hopefully it's a no. I mean, hopefully it's a yes. But yeah, that's the sad part, right? Best believe they're doing it to the youngest. Because it's all a part of the whole grand social steering. I saw what King brought out with the whole prison system. It's all a part of steering them, right? We all know that dealing with the prison systems, they already start to look at grade point averages, things of that nature in certain schools, just so they can start seeing, making sure that the building of prisons are where they need to be, in the future to house these people, right? Us, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, anyway, so there's files. More likely, there's even files on children as well, which is sad. It is what it is. But I say that once again. I had to go through that series of clips and some information. The whole nine is this lion is real. This roaring, walks about as a roaring lion, not here, but as one. So whenever, right, these data points and the whole night, whenever it all lines up like it's supposed to, that's when the enemy utilizes whatever your weakness is. You just heard about what that FBI, that informant, whatever that weakness is, bam, got you. Got you. I got you in my hand. I got you right where I want you. Bang, I got you, Sid. I've now indwelled you. You can't do nothing about it. If I was no children, because you can't do nothing about it. I got you. You ready to act up with your spouse? I got you. Got you, Sid. Either way, ready to act up with your sister? Got you. With your brother? Got you. I got you. What you gonna do now? You stuck. So, but you have to understand that that's the adversity. That's the adversity that we're just gonna have to endure until the end. All right. So thank you for reading that for me. I got Mark 4:14 through 20. Who got that for me?
I can get it.
Okay. Look, he's up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about it. Come on, man.
Mark 4.
Get that right along with you.
All right. Mark 4:14 through 20. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Yeshua the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun, but Mark, I'm sure. Like Matthew. Mark 4. Sorry.
Yeah. Why you getting that? Let me set it up. Because we ain't gonna get into the whole parable at the beginning. It's the parable about the what kind of seed is being sown, right? Y'all know, y'all more than likely heard this parable before. It's essentially talking about the type of heart that believer has. And whether or not that's gonna be, this is good ground for this seed to fall on. All right, it picks up at 14. Go ahead.
All right. The sower sows the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan comes immediately and takes away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of their things entering in, choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100.
There you go. Appreciate that. And actually, I appreciate you reading it. Taking your time with it, so that way you can see it for yourself. But yeah, y'all see. Hopefully, this is all coming in. This is culminating. Cares of this world. All right, they're gonna come in, and all of these lusts and other things. All of that is gonna come in and it's gonna choke. What kind of ground are you? Question I have. Please, you get the chance, read all of Mark 4, because we ain't gonna get into it right now. But definitely, watch out. Watch out and be ready. Watch out and be ready. All right, I got. But let me not tell you. I think James 1:12 through 16 gonna tell you. Let me see. Anybody else?
I can do it if you want.
By all means, go ahead, Monami.
I need to get there. So.
All right. Yep, go ahead, Mickey. I know it. I know.
James 1:12 to 16.
Yeah.
Jacob, a servant of 12 to 16. Micaiah.
I understand.
Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yahuwah has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim, for Elohim cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempts he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren.
Oh, thank you for that. You see how now, we can talk about external all day, right? I mean, we can. But what did it just now say? 14. But every man that is tempted when he is drawn away from what? His own lust and enticed. I don't get it twisted. The enemy gonna be the enemy. The devil gonna do what he do. All he doing is just putting that steak in front of that dog. That's all. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us as whether or not we go. Even the data points that, yes, it is, I mean, devilish what it is that they're able to do with technology as far as gathering information, even on our youngins. It's on us as whether or not we're gonna deviate, right? Deviate out of that mindset. It just is. And the only way you're gonna do that is if, once again, going all the way back to 2 Corinthians 10, 4-6 is got your tool belt. Do you have your tool belt? So thank you for the reading. Thank you for that one now. Yeah. All right. Let's press on. We almost done. All right. We almost done. I'm gonna start using those words. We almost done. All right. So let's get this Netanyahu 12. I meant to say 43 through 45. If somebody doesn't mind getting that, please.
I got it.
Thank you, sir. Go for it.
Matthew 12, verse 43.
All right. Please.
When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. You want me to continue to 45?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, 45.
Okay,
Yes, yes, sir.
Then
I didn't put it.
All right. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first.
Oh, no.
Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation.
Thank you for that.
You are.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, buddy. That is an oldie but a goodie. And this is what I want to pull up before we get into the conversation. This is going to be some Luciferian or whatever. This Luciferian talking about his Jesus testimony. But let's just use the information, right? See what we got. I'm going to go from, I know where to stop.
And my Lord and my hero, one that I would want to serve. I was influenced by demons to want to write a book about Lucifer and how great he is and his side of the story. And I was getting more and more evil in my heart. I mutilated myself, branding myself with satanic symbols. Every night I would have night terrors, and it felt so real, like I was being tortured. When I gave my life to Christ, there was no going back. If I go back, I'm dead. It was like I was in a bubble, and I was getting more and more evil in my heart, even leading to the point where wanting to get into some really, and I won't explain it, but deep and evil things. It's hard to explain, like it consumes you. You have this anger and you just want to destroy and you want to hurt. And it's like, some people say they have tunnel vision.
but like, I don't know how to explain it. You just have this great desire to just harm and do evil. You just want to hurt people. You want to destroy. And so, yeah, I would have moments of wrath, great wrath. It's like to hold it back is extremely painful, you know, even in my Christian walk where, you know, sometimes I'll have this just demonic wrath going into me. And I don't want to do anything evil, or I don't want to, but it's like, it's so painful because you just want to do something. You want to destroy something, you know, you want to yell at someone or something, but you know, you won't do it, you know, as a child of God, you don't want to hurt people. So it's extremely painful. Yeah. So it's like, I just got very self-centered, sensual. And it eventually got to the point where I was addicted to pornography, addicted to drugs. And I would keep the Bible next to me, but I used it as like a talisman, you know, thinking it would protect me. Okay. But eventually my cell phone started to die. And so I tried charging it. It didn't work. Eventually it died. And then I felt this strong conviction, that this like inside voice saying, if not now, when? It would be like demons lead me and the dream feels good, sounds good, seems like it's a good dream. And then all of a sudden I'm led into a dark path. Everything goes black. And then the demon can morph into anything it wants and cause you to have such fear. And so that would happen every night. Like I was just being tortured. You're going to kill me. And if I even do survive, 3 years is like that. I mean.
Well, alrighty then. Yeah, that's a lot actually. He was kind of all around, but yeah. Any thoughts before I get into it?
That's not surprising, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of was all around, of course. But, you know, I think people got, once again, so I know that we're protected, right? Most High protects us. Yes, absolutely. Y'all just now read what we just now read. And well, you're going to get tested, right? So then, all right, well, you know, you think you big, bad, you're brew. All right, do what you do. And then you see what happens, right? You see that, yeah, you got like that, it's that talking to you in your dreams. They're telling you what it is that you should be doing. It's influencing you to do some of the, like, just, you know, it's like you don't even, what Paul says, like, I don't even know why I do what I do. I don't do it because I want to do it. It's just that y'all know what verse I'm talking about. The inside, and I know I'll refer to it a lot of times, and I'll pull it up one of these days. But even Paul, he understood what their flesh will do. So I don't think nobody's off the hook. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If the ancestors of old, who didn't have none of this stuff that we have around us today, we're still dealing with it. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I know. We're super brewing.
I heard a story one time about this monk who he wanted to get closer to God or whatever. And so he went and secluded himself. And there was nothing, there was no people, you know, it was just him. No outside influences, no television, no radios, no nothing. He secluded himself. And at the end of, he went, you know, to try to get closer to the Most High, I guess. And so at the end of his I call it an experiment, but he came back and he said, even in my thoughts, I was sinning. It's like, you know, well, even if you're away from people, around people or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, he thought he was by getting away from, but you can't get away from yourself.
Oh, sure enough, can't. He who thinks he is without sin is what? Well, not what is it? It's not necessarily cast first. I'm talking about if somebody says they have no sin, they're a liar, and yeah, y'all know the rest of that. Okay,
I
yeah,
can say, what was that? What, I don't know whether we talked about it. I heard it from someone. So the person you are is the person you hide.
yeah. Did we talk about that last time?
I don't know. It seemed like we talked about something like that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
people, and it brings me back to the verse that says the heart is wicked, deceitful above all things.
Deceitful.
Who
Yes.
can know it? You can't even know your own heart.
Or at least nobody else around you. So the thing is that you might tell people like you just not brought out about the person, about the well, we talked about this last time about believing who that person is, the whole nine, and the person, like you said, they're trying to hide. Thing is that you know it. You know who you are. And the Most High knows who you are. I can't, like, there's certain things, I can't know what's going on in your heart. That's you. All right. that's between you. We've said 1,000 times between you and the Most High. Right. I can't, man. So to say that this person's that person, to say that person's that person, like, we don't know. Okay.
And I think that's why when you come before the Most High, you just gotta lay it open, bury yourself open.
Right.
He can take it. A lot of people think, well, I can't tell the Most High. He already knows he can take it.
Absolutely.
You have something you dealing with. Just lay it all open for the Most High. He can take it.
Sure enough.
And it's better for to lay it open before him than it is for him to expose it.
Right.
Because
to deal with the judgment of that thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to deal with the judgment of it. It's probably best just to go ahead, like you said, confess it before the Most High, before somebody you trust, this, that, and the third, before having to deal with the consequences. Gosh, any day. I'd rather deal with my brethren than deal with the Most High. Any day. Any day. Any day of the week. So
I heard somebody saying, and it kind of made me think. He said, I'd rather pay for the sins that I've committed here. I'd rather reap here than to reap in eternity.
yeah.
So,
you got your Bible open? Amen.
Yeah, lots of times we're going through things and we're experiencing things because of past sins and past things that we've done. And you don't escape those because
right.
Those things are still going to follow you. So we're dealing with a lot of people dealing with a lot of things because of past, transgressions.
That's it.
And so we got to deal with that. So you either deal with that now, or I said, yeah, I guess I'll just take my punishment now, my whipping now, than rather take it in eternity. So
that's right. That's right. You see that, and I'm making sure everybody we all on the same road, same path. Talking about the aspect of, yes, you do something, yeah, your soul can be saved. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, your soul to save. But that consequence is still there for your actions, right? Your actions still have a consequence. That, all praise to the Most High and the spiritual, hey, all praises, right? But yeah, you did a thing, just deal with it. Now, of course, you can still ask the Most High to not get it to you. That's how the Most High deal with that judgment on you. But don't go thinking it ain't gonna be nothing that's gonna happen.
He can still bless you. He can still make, but at some point you're gonna deal with that thing that you did.
Yeah. You don't want a butt whooping. I mean, I get it. None of us want a butt whooping. And you remember, y'all old now, so you can't get no butt whooping. It is what it is. And that doesn't exist for y'all no more, right? So now you got to deal with things on a whole nother level. And I'm telling you once again, anyway, so yeah, we getting, woof. You got your Bible open, go ahead and get that Job 1:6-9 for me, please.
Job what?
Job 1:6-9, because I need to go back to this verse that we just not taught that
I'm sorry, did you
just
say
read.
Job?
Yes, ma'am.
Job.
Yeah. The job.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
6-9.
Job 1:6-9. Eob.
Right. You got Eob.
Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah. And Hashatan came also among them. And Yahuwah said unto Hashatan, Whence comest thou? And Hashatan answered Yahuwah and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahuwah said unto Hashatan, Hast thou considered my servant Eob, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that fears Elohim and escheweth evil? Then Hashatan answered Yahuwah and said, Does Job fear Elohim for naught?
Yeah, just gonna leave it right there because I don't want to get too past. Of course, read all of your, do you think your own personal time, please. But yes, don't want to lose the aspect of what we talked about in Matthew 12:43 just now. Okay, he said, what was it? What was it? That spirit, the unclean spirit, when to go out of a man. He walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. What did it just now say? And of course, verse 44 said, then he have said, I'll return into the house whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty and swept and garnished. Just now read. He said, well, verse 4 was interesting already, which, yeah, we can, well, let me get to the point. What did he say? What did he ask Hashtan? He said, what you been doing? Oh, I just been, man, even fear the sons and so day feasting and therefore Job himself before he said, what you been doing? Oh, Hashtan answered and said, oh, I just been going to and fro in the earth, walking up and down it. I just thought that was a very interesting link. But what verse 6 was as interesting as well is that now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Satan came right along also. Wait. Because before that, it was talking about how, like, Job was doing sacrifices and all of that. I think it says it in verse 5. So you saying that, like, you could be in the midst of doing your burnt offerings to the Most High, your prayers, if any of this stuff going, feast, whatever, make it, Shabbats, all of that beautiful stuff. And Satan can be right there. I ain't saying that. You can read verse 6 for yourself. All right. Yes, absolutely. And it matches 1 Peter 5. Because he's just waiting for you. He's just waiting for you. You know what I mean? All right. Definitely appreciate that. And I think we're now pressing.
If he was in the Garden of Eden, why wouldn't he be here?
Oh yeah. Come on. Garden of Eden. Right there with people who didn't even know what death was. Tell we can talk about that one, boy. You right there. You think you got it. Sure. All right, so let me please somebody else get Mark 7:21 through 23, please. And the reason why, once again, the reason why we're getting all of this, right? Hopefully y'all can see it. There's this battle, right? We're going over Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast Matzah, right? There's a battle for you. And if you don't start introspectively getting everything in order, because this is just not a week, y'all. I mean, really, this question would be, is Matzah just for a week, or is it for, it's all year, spiritually we're talking about, right? All year. So, all right, can somebody please get Mark 7:21 through 23, please?
I can get it.
Yes, sir.
The second took her and died. Neither had he any seed.
Mark 7?
Mark 7. I thought I clicked on it.
I got it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Perceive evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. And all these evil things come from within and defile the man.
Thank you. All these things. Now, of course, people, what Christians want to use that for eating whatever, but there's the here's what we say. That's what I'm saying. And, man, you talk about them having to start over, reset, right? But anyway, let's look, because now we got to focus in on this, because we're dealing with ourselves, right, in this situation. But yeah, from within, the heart of men. Thank you, by the way, for reading. Evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, right? An evil eye. An evil eye. You ever seen people cut an evil eye? Anyway, very interesting that this is here. I didn't even, like, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I read Mark 7. Anyway, they call it the reticular activating system. Y'all can the reticular activating system is at the base of your spine. You know what I mean? You ever like, you don't really notice everything that's really going on? Like, let's say when you buy a vehicle, you never really notice that it was that particular exact type of vehicle and also color that was on the road until you bought it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, yeah. But now that you bought the vehicle, you see it. You know, it's almost like you see it all the time. You know, it's the reticular activating system. Because Most High, I guess he set it up to where it's like if we were to see everything and really notice everything all at once, it would be too much for our minds to notice so many things at once. This is, you know, we can get in anyway. I ain't gonna get too heavy into it. But yeah, you know, it would be too much for us. So of course, Most High has allowed it to where it kind of dials us down a little bit. But then when we see certain things, it just kind of it jumps out at us, right? Because maybe you've dealt with that, dealt with it in some form or fashion. So, all right, I think we're pretty much done with the examination. We're about to roll around to this solution. Any other thoughts before I get there? All right. Somebody give me read, please. 2 Corinthians. I did it again. I don't know
I
why.
just
I'm
wanted
doing
to,
singular. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, to say something about the video about the dude.
The Luciferian or the
Yeah,
ex-Luciferian? Yeah.
yeah. Did he say that he was on his phone for the scriptures or something, and then his phone died?
Or it's just his phone died. I didn't know if he said anything about the scripture. He said the scriptures he would keep at the side of his bed for some
Oh,
type of. He said a word, but I'm being. I did. What did he
Talisman.
say? Talisman. Yeah.
A talisman or something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah. So in
protect
other words,
you, like
something.
like an
Go ahead.
ornament or something that's supposed to protect you.
Yes. You know, like I mean, I'm not trying to go crazy with.
oh,
I used to have like a dream catcher when I was growing up. Yeah, some sort of talisman. You know what I'm saying? Something. You know, you got Catholics that had the beads or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
even
the
Islam.
Hail Mary or
Against the
whatever.
Right.
cross. People just wearing the cross
Oh, just
around.
wearing a cross.
Think
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
I
something,
think,
you
go
know,
ahead.
or something, you know.
Think a lot of people who use the talisman are the Chinese or Japanese people that, it's like a parchment of paper that they have that there's written on some scripture or some kind of script or some kind of words that will ward off um evil spirits.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about? That's
Mhm.
what it's
Yeah,
what
I
it mostly
understand.
is.
But I think a lot of people in Western culture have, you know, it's going to be, you know, like different symbols and, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's morphed.
it's just like when you watch the old Dracula movies and they pull out the cross.
Yeah. in the garlic.
Yeah, and the garlic and all that. Or like what Constantine, we put a holy cross in like the building's water system, and you turn on the sprinklers, and then all the
Talking about the
water.
one with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, because he said that the few things that he was hearing was also to hurt himself, you know. So for me, that was interesting to hear, like how the spirit was telling him to hurt himself. Like when I say hurt himself, like cutting himself and having all those stuff on his body.
And you know what? It's like in my experience, I have experienced seeing well, not actually seeing somebody do it, but after the fact, And it was one of my students when I was teaching. And I tell you, when I started teaching in school, I began to change my whole mind about demons and demon possession. Because yes, children bring demons with them. And this young girl, she was 4th grade, but she was harming herself. And of course, the school being the school, they thought it was an emotional disorder. But I knew what it was. It's demon possession. And you know, we think everything, you know, Babylon tries to, you know, the stronghold of demons tries to tell you that it's just, oh, it's emotional development, it's emotional disturbed or something like that. But no, it's demon. Because when I began to, it wasn't long after going into teaching, I began to reassess my take on demonic activity, and especially amongst children, because, you know, in the New Testament, it was the man's daughter was, you know, and people don't think that children are very susceptible to demonic influence.
Yeah, they say that they're like malleable or something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what the, you know, TV and a lot of times will say. They like to have malleable minds. So
Yeah,
one show he made it seem like you could, you know, from a I don't go into the heaviness of the show, but it's called Travelers. But that the way that they were able to send messages, that they would jump from one soul to a or consciousness, we'll say, right, quote unquote consciousness, to another person in a different timeline. But they also needed to find a way to send messages. Well, they would utilize children because if they did it with adults, they would die. But if they could utilize children to send a message, and they could send a message through that person and through a little child, and then they would stop in that moment, say the little message, and then keep on running, play ball or something, whatever. But it's very interesting how they expose that.
Yeah.
Well, even still, like we've all seen movies or TV shows where you got this one creepy kid, and comes to find out is under heavy that kid is under heavy demonic possession of some sort, and it's usually passed down from a previous generation. Like, do you guys remember when the found footage phenomenon was in Hollywood, where they would keep bringing out movies where it seemed like people were just recording and stuff would happen. You remember the movie Paranormal? Well, they're like later on in that film franchise, about either the second or third movie of Paranormal. It goes back to how the children were actually being prepped, and some deal was made by a parent or grandparent that if they had like a firstborn son, then it was agreed upon that the demons would be able to take and inhabit the child and do whatever they wanted with it. But before that point, the family had only ever had firstborn daughters. And then, like, when the first movie comes along, that's when the firstborn son comes, and then that's when all the demonic activity picks up.
Interesting. Thank you for that. Hey, let's go ahead and read that 2 Corinthians 13, 5-9. Let's get to it so we can go ahead and finish this thing up. If anybody else got something to say. All right. Yeah, somebody get that for me, please.
I have it. I'll go.
Cool.
Okay, it's examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahusha HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to Elohim that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. For
Hey,
we are glad when we are weak and ye are strong. And this also we wish, even your perfection.
hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. Examine yourself. Examine yourselves. Examine yourselves. If that's one of the best verses I can pull out the Bible when dealing with this week, literally, examine yourselves. Examine yourselves. Whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Now, what's interesting in verse 7 is that it was like, well, I trust that y'all ain't no reprobates, right? That's what it's saying in verse 6. Now I pray, to Elohim, that ye do no evil. Not that you should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates. Meaning they're like, well, and this is why it's crazy how Paul can talk to us in this generation right now. Whenever y'all go out and about if you're dealing with a Christian, if you're dealing with, family members or whatnot, well, probably just Christians or, Catholics or whoever else, same thing, whatever, Islam, whatever. You're going to be looked at like you're a reprobate. You know what I'm saying? You're going to, you're going to be looked at like, okay, this person's off the rocker here. You know what I mean? But nah, all you got to do, what it say at the very first of it, very first of that verse. Now I pray that you just don't do no evil. Right?
Mhm.
Not that you just appear to be approved. Not that you slam your chest. Oh my God, I see a blue jay outside. I've never seen one of those. Anyway, um, did you appear approved the whole nine? But what? Do that which is honest. Just be an honest person when you're around them, right? Your Christian family, brothers and sisters, whatever. You know what I mean when I say that. Um, and even though you seem like and do what verse say, but we can do nothing against the truth. Can't do nothing to get it. Can't do nothing. You can't do nothing again. All you gotta do is just bring it out, and you see the you let that shot of that injection of truth do what it do. All right. I've always said, man, when you got the truth, you can just sit back and then just kind of just give out a couple verses here and there and just watch and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of them. It just I almost watch them squirm to a degree. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Either be in awe of what it is that's being brought out, or squirm. You know what I mean? And you can just do this with a calm. Let's just be honest, but don't seem like you just extra. Nah, you ain't gotta do all of that. Even though they're gonna look at you like, why you believe like this? So, and then what? That's to verse 9. It's to we are glad and we are when we are weak, and you're strong. Even though this also we wish for your perfection. I appreciate that. Reading that down here. All right. Let's get this verse too, because one of the things we was talking about in at the very beginning of this was the tool belt, and we talked about how you prayed up. You getting into your word, and that thrown out there that like, are you serving? You'd be surprised how much of a protection serving is. So then, therefore, somebody get that Luke 9:62 for me. C2 play.
Luke
Right
9:62. Sorry, Luke 9 verse 62. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was an echo at first, but that's how it is about Naruto.
Yes. Sorry. All right. Luke 9 verse 62. And Yahusha said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Elohim.
Very self-explanatory. You want to get into the kingdom, just do what you got to do. It's not me saying it. Look, I ain't. Once again, it's just put your hand to the plow. That's it, and just keep at it. Stay steadfast. I talked about being established, being steadfast. I know it's talking about when you go through the hard times, but just get in there. Get in there, do some stuff. Everything ain't gonna be easy, right? This. I mean, yes, there is a high level of shalom. There's a high level of what is it? Happiness. There's a high level. All of the fruits that you get out of Galatians 5. It's there in the faith. Ain't nobody taking and pulling that away. But you're also gonna get tested. That's life. But you're a servant. You're a servant. It even said in Job that, hey, have you ever thought about my servant? Right? Let me make sure I said that. I'm saying that right. Not just one of my sons. And it talked about how he was perfect, the whole nine. But anyway. Oh, oh, oh. So yeah, I know we've been on here long enough. So let me go ahead and let me get to this last part. All right, we got, I think, Shemot 14:14. Being sensitive to the time. All right, Exodus 14:14.
I have it if you want me to read it.
By all means, please.
Okay, it says, Yahuwah shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
Mm.
Oh, that's beautiful.
These are those ones you gotta. I mean, they're tight inside of your body, inside of your ruach, inside of your mind, inside of your heart. And this is when he was getting ready to slay them the Mizraim, I think it was, right, just the verse up. Yeah. This is when the sea was about to go ahead and open up, and the salvation of Yahuwah. Oh man, so that's gonna be your word for the fight for you. Is gonna be at Laham at the beginning, right? Laham. We went over. He's gonna control. He's gonna control that chaos. He's gonna control it. That's all the Egyptians are anyway. Whatever. All right, let's get to what the goal is. Well, let's finish it up with Revelations 2:25-28. Well, I ain't gonna say the goal. I'll just say it's in Revelations. Because some people may look at this and be like, I don't know. But once again, that's one of those scriptures you can pull out with the Christians and be like, well, I ain't saying it. Right? All
I
right.
got
Cool.
it.
Thank you.
Revelation 2:25-28. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcomes and guards my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star.
Go ahead and read verse 29. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He that has an ear, let him hear what the Ruach says unto the called out assemblies.
All right. That's going to be it. Let me go ahead and close it up. I'll just go ahead and read them out, right? Because I know it sounds crazy on the audio. But definitely read it to yourself, right? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim
and
guard his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Through that Ecclesiastes 12:13-14. Here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha. Right, family. That's gonna be it. That one. Let me get here, and stop.